One of the best parts about taping Limestone Lens at the studio is seeing my girlfriends. Well, it's been 3 months, so today we're checking in with each other. So these are the Limestone ladies, Nancy Drew and Gretchen Huntley. So how's everybody doing? Start with you, Gretchen. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Miss seeing everybody a lot. Miss people in general, but I'm surviving. I'm learning how to brush my hair flat so it doesn't stick out all over. Almost have adjusted the face of the mirror. So there you go.
How are you doing, Nancy?
Oh, doing well, actually, doing really well, especially now that the sun's out and it's sort of coming towards summer and there's some warmth. And I just was so itching to get outside that's been a big, big bonus.
Now, I thought a little bit of background. First of all, Gretchen, we've known each other for 9 years. And Nancy, we we go back to the mid 80s. Yes, yeah, long time ago that we knew each other. So I dragged you both into this. So why don't you, Gretchen, tell everybody, you've been at it a little bit longer, tell everybody what it is you do for the Limestone Lens.
Well, I've kind of jumped all over the place. I came in as the door person, as I called myself. You give me a nicer title, but I answered the door.
Well, okay, you were guest services. That's actually an important, and Rowena Berg now does that. Hope she's watching. Hi, Rowena. And so it meant getting people into the green room, offering them refreshments. And if they're nervous, you were really good at hand holding. So yeah, that was an important job. So then you decided you wanted to try something else. And what else have you been doing?
Well, then I tried to get sick and I got a lot of attention. So that was lovely. So then when I came back, they stuck me in the control room where I stayed out of trouble. So that was a good thing. And I really enjoy that. I love the computer. So it's a fun thing. It's totally different. I love talking to the people too. But that I really seem to really be enjoying right now. So it's kind of fun to learn about all the terminology and what makes it tick from the other side of the coin.
So one of them is that you put the names, like when you see a name come up on a screen underneath somebody, so we know who this person is that maybe I'm interviewing, you're responsible for doing that.
Yes, and then you follow it up with their title or what they do. And that's been interesting because now I find when I watch television, I watch it totally different because I look at that. Where before, yeah, you notice the name, but you don't really think about there's somebody there that's putting that in and trying to put it in at the right time.
So yeah, and you're enjoying doing that's great. And Nancy, you kind of got thrown in the deep end when I think you made the mistake of saying I'm retiring, I'm afraid of being bored, and I said, well, do I have a deal for you? And next thing you know, you're in the studio. So what is it that we have you doing for the Limestone Lens?
Well, actually, I don't know if I've got a title or not, but it doesn't matter. I just enjoy being behind the camera and, you know, the earphones on. So I'm listening to the control room. I'm hearing what Curtis is saying and I'm hearing what Gretchen is saying. And it's sort of move a little this way or move a little that way. Make sure that everybody's mic'd properly and that they're comfortable in their chair and that they're happy. I love dealing with all of the people that you interview. It's wonderful. And I've learned so much. It's hard to believe how many little things I didn't know about Kingston or the area that I've learned. It's been such good fun and I miss it big time.
I do too. I used to look forward to Wednesday afternoons, and we just had like a party along with Rowena and also Ann Stevens, another one of my girlfriends that I roped into this. And I know I kind of miss it too. So what have, well, you're actually the floor manager, and the other job that you have, Nancy, is you get to tell me what to do. So the wrap it up and tell me how much time I've got left. And you get increasingly frantic when I don't wrap it up when I should and things like that. So you get to tell me what to do.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about it that way, but you're right. I do. Yes.
So we've been 3 months now, and Gretchen, you live alone, so you've been sort of isolated. Luckily, I have a couple of friends who moved in with me, and I so appreciate the company. Nancy, you're married. You have just the two of you.
Yes, and that's a good thing because trust me, being alone, would have total empathy for that. Yes.
Yeah, I know. So, Gretchen, how have you been keeping in touch with your family?
We FaceTime, not as much as I would like. Everybody is busy. Well, I shouldn't say everybody's busy. Mary, my oldest daughter, she works from home. Tina is a hairdresser, so she is out of work completely and not sure yet when she's going back. Also not sure when she goes back what the rules will be, because it will be much more difficult. So, and my grandchildren, one is 17 and the other is 21. So the calls are few and far between for them, but I have the computer. I'm on the telephone. I love to write. I do a lot of knitting and crocheting and far too much eating. But yeah, I find the time has been fairly long, but you learn how to fill it. And the one thing I said recently to someone, you almost learn to figure yourself out and maybe, learn to like yourself better or know where your shortcomings are more than you do when you're with people. So it's had two sides to it.
Yeah, and you came up with a system. You have a split entry in your house, so your daughters can sit in the lower level and you sit in the upper level, so you can visit, but you're at least 6 feet apart.
Oh yeah, yeah, and we have done that. At first, they didn't come in at all, and actually, I was sick, and it was very difficult because they could not come in. But it's better now in that at least they can come in and sit downstairs, or we can now go out on a nice day out in the back, and one sits on the little deck and the other sits down off the deck in a chair. So we are, spending a little bit more time together one-on-one, but I really miss touch. I'm a hugger, as you know, and the touch is such a major loss for me anyways.
And didn't you tell me that you started a part of your knitting and crocheting, and you, what did you call it?
My COVID corner?
Right, yeah, tell us about that.
Well, because I like to knit and crochet anyways, and I have a lot more time on my hands, I took a corner in the basement, and everything I make, I've been putting in that corner, and I call it my COVID corner. And I have teddy bears and I have little triangular dolls, which I've decided to call COVID kids because they're shaped like a triangle. They have no arms, so they can't hug. So it's only natural they would be COVID kids because they can't hug you back. And now I'm working on baby sweaters because some of my neighbors are going to be grandparents. So my COVID corner goes up and down. If somebody needs something and I've got it, then I'll give it to them. And if not, it builds up in my little corner of the world.
That's good, because you can look at it and say, I used my time. I had an effective use of my time, which means that we all have way too much on our hands these days. Mm-hmm. Nancy, how about you? How have you been spending your time?
Well, as I say, most of all, I've been looking forward to the nice weather. So I've been out on my bicycle and going for long walks, but I have to admit that the first little bit was very, very difficult. And I thought, I can't believe, I never expected it would last 3 months, let alone it's looking like a lot more. You think, oh, well, a couple of weeks, I've got so many things to do. That's great. I'll get them all done. Well, by the time I refilled the salt and pepper shakers and sat there and said, okay, now what do I have to do? And it's funny, like little things would become, you make more time for something. Like Sunday night is our garbage night. So it's, we get to take the garbage out tonight. I'm all excited and we sort of fight over it. And my husband was going out the door because he goes to work still every day. And he was going out the door the next morning and he said, I'll bring the garbage pails in. And I took him by the arm and said, no, that's my job. I get to get dressed and I get to go out there and bring in the garbage pails. That was so exciting. So
It reaches that
after a
point.
while, though, I got a little bit better and have found lots of things to do.
When I've started, I decided way back that I was going to use my time effectively by reading good books. And instead of the escapism, detective novels and mystery novels, and there's nothing wrong with those, but so I've been reading some really good literature, and I discovered the library system is wonderful. So I can take out a book online and download it on my iPad. And if I get into 20 pages and say, "Ooh, wow, I'm not sure why this was considered such a good book," I send it back and I get another book. And I've been reading a lot and really enjoying these books, and wonder why I didn't read them years ago, but I just didn't. So that's how I've been using my time. So I can't say this was a total waste of my time, this whole thing. So we will meet again someday. I don't know when we're going to end up back in the studio. I'm looking forward to that day. I sure am. And anybody out there who's kind of looking for a volunteer activity, Gretchen, why would you recommend YourTV as signing up to be a volunteer? What are you getting out of this?
Well, first off, I just thought I would enjoy getting out and meeting a few people. And I really didn't expect anything more, but I've learned a lot. I've met some amazing people. I've made some friends that I never expected to make. I've learned a lot about TV that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's just so rewarding.
And how about you, Nancy? What can you say to recommend YourTV as a volunteer experience?
Oh my goodness, exactly the same as what Gretchen said. You learn so much and you meet so many interesting people. And like I said, so many things about Kingston and what's going on that I didn't know before. And it's so worthwhile. Besides that, it's fun and great people to work with, wonderful people to work with. And it's not work, wonderful people to get together with.
Yeah. And they treat us, they're really good to us with the activities, the parties they have for us and the gatherings. And unfortunately that won't happen this year, but they really do show their appreciation. And it's nice when you are a volunteer to be appreciated, and hats off to YourTV Kojiko for doing that for us. So, well, listen, it's been good seeing you guys. My gosh, I'm so glad we did this. So glad everybody's hanging in, and well, one of these days we will see each other again. I just know it.
Oh, looking forward to it for sure, for sure. This has been wonderful. It's so good to see you all again.
Take care, and I miss all of you and can't wait to get back.
Yeah.
Bye.
Kisses to everybody.
Yeah, hugs, kisses.